to this day, to say someone is a Jew could be a broad ethnic statement. They are a descendant from the Jewish people, or it could be an expression of their religious faith. So here's how you get white Jews, black Jews, Asian Jews, Hispanic Jews, etc. Here's how you get Jews of all colors. People convert to Judaism. And when they convert to Judaism, they become part of the Jewish people. And therefore, the Jewish people will have many different backgrounds of skin color and ethnicity. But then once you are part of the Jewish people, that becomes a larger designation as well. So you can be a physical descendant, like your parents were Jewish. They were non-religious Jews. You're a non-religious Jew. You're still a Jew. That's more of an ethnic descent. Or it could be that your family converted to Judaism, became followers of the God of Israel, and now your kids will be considered Jews, even though there was no historic connection. So it's a bit more complicated, but once you understand it, then it makes sense.
Yeah, it's hard to make sense of, I guess. Okay, so I mean, is it? Well, I don't know. I guess would it be better to distinguish between Israelites and Jews, or
Nope.
are there really hardly
Nope.
any racial Jews anymore? Because
No, there are plenty
most are
that have descent back. There are millions of Jews living in Israel that have Middle Eastern descent, that are not converts into Judaism, like my family line would have been as a Caucasian. Converts into Judaism, like my family line would have been as a Caucasian. At some stretch in time, or intermarriage would be the other thing, intermarriage with conversion to Judaism. No, so there are plenty of Jews, a very good number, especially those who are not Ashkenazi, who would be able to say, yeah, we trace ourselves back to the people of Israel and the Middle East and the Jewish people, etc. But by the time you have the New Testament, things have already spread. You've already had many people convert to Judaism and join from other nations, and God calls the people Jews there. They're referred to as Jews, Jewish people. So again, it's not confusing once you understand that there is the ethnic descent, and as long as that's preserved, then you're a Jew. Or you could convert to Judaism from another ethnicity, and now you're part of the larger Jewish people. So those are the categories. But the simple thing is, once a Jew, always a Jew, right? So you're born a Jew, you die a Jew. Yes, hello, Michael.
Hello. Thanks for having me. I recently, a friend of mine said that they seen an article by the Obadiah Alliance that they made a ruling on the Igbos saying that they were descendant from the ancient Israelites.
Mm-hmm.
And I just don't see how that's possible. I'm not trying to make this a race thing, but I don't see how it's possible when they don't the ancient Israelites were looked European, correct?
No, they didn't look European. Certainly not European. They looked Middle Eastern. If you look at an Egyptian today or an Iraqi today, they'd be darker skinned, more brown skinned. We do have a statement from the early early 3rd century in the Mishnah, going back to a bit earlier time. And it contrasts the Germans and then the Ethiopians, so Caucasians, and then Africans. Contrast that with the Jews, the Israelites, who would have been like boxwood in color. So they would have been, brown-skinned people or light brown-skinned people. But how is it that I'm a Jew and I can claim descent from Israel and I'm Caucasian? How is it the Lemba tribe in Zimbabwe can have verified descent from Israel and they're black? The answer is intermarriage. It's very simple. As the Jewish people spread around the world and people converted to Judaism and intermarried, and they stayed long enough in a place, then after a while, Jews in China looked Chinese, Jews in India looked Indian, Jews in Africa looked African, Jews in Europe looked European. That's how it happened. intermarriage in. So let's remember this, Michael. If we intermarry out, right? In other words, you're a Jewish person, you marry someone that's practicing another faith, and you leave Judaism, then within a generation or two, there's going to be no consciousness of Jewish descent anymore. In other words, your children, grandchildren, great-grandchildren will be lost to the people of Israel. But if you intermarry in, you're a Gentile, you convert to Judaism, and you join the Jewish people, now the kids you have, they'll look a little different, but the kids you have will now be part of the Jewish people. So, we know from Scripture that there are specific references to Ethiopians or others of dark skin that would seem to be different from the people of Israel as a whole. But the people of Israel were in Egypt and pretty much indistinguishable in many ways outwardly from the Egyptians as far as brown-skinned people. And of course, you had many black-skinned people in Egypt as well. So that's how you can have different groups in Africa or India or other parts of the world that get discovered. And yeah, there is DNA that connects them back to Israel. Does that make sense?
Yes.
Well,
So
what
we
made you
can't-
think
we can't-
that the Israelites look European? Where did you get that from?
That's just what's been in front of me my whole life.
Yeah.
Jesus, European.
Yeah, so that's the
just
wrong
the
image.
way I understand it.
Jesus as a long-haired, white-skinned, blue-eyed European. Those are the images. And then you even have religious art where the Jews are these evil